Alright. Now we're back alive with some more Star Fox Assault. Okay. Finally, we are going to finish this game. I'm done with... I just want to beat it. I love this game. I just want to beat it. But we are going to push forth, beat the final level. About time? What do you mean about time? Jesus, Gabe. What do you mean about time? It was only 2 days ago when I started this. Alright. So I'll just let this play out.
Ready for anything and everything. Strap in, buckle down, and hit the planet.
Yeah.
Something's weird. Energy readings keep getting stronger.
Okay. To remind people what led up to this.
What?
What's going on?
The energy's forming a shield. Laser fire's gonna be useless.
Dang it! Out of the way, everybody!
Peppy?
Dang, the Great Fox is being overrun by the Aperoids.
Extreme impairment. Main hull will not survive more damage.
Who cares? Divert all energy to the main guns! Fire!
Damage capacity exceeded.
Too bad. We're going out in style. Peppy, you can't die! Back off, all of you! Peppy, you mustn't. Yes, this is my duty. And now you must fulfill your duty as well, Fox.
Alright. Once I finish this level, once I finish the game, I will be doing a tier list of every Star Fox game because I have played every Star Fox game, including Starlink. I'll put in the tier list as well. I need to find a tier list that will that has it all. But yeah, I'll be Starlink will count because if it's entire Star Fox plotline that it has as a secondary plotline.
Enough! Peppy's opened a road for us. We've got to move on. Without him. Come on. Come on! Let's move!
Here we go. This time I'll beat it.
Falco, we've got uninvited guests following.
I also like how Wolf somehow got in despite the scene showcasing that nothing got in after them.
You think we're just gonna sit here and watch you work? Just go on.
We gotta get this. And this life. Gotta get all the lives. Oh, I'm stupid. I just keep walking into it. I keep flying into everything. Alright, I'm gonna need to warm the fuck up.
You saved me, Fox. Take this, Fox.
Oh, here we are. Thank you, Slippy. I needed that.
Enemy attacks are building. Watch out, Wolf.
Keep your advice to yourself and your eyes front, Pop.
Oopsie.
If we lose here, you'll never have the chance.
This. And right.
Obstacles dead ahead. Watch out, everyone. You're gonna block us at any cost. Is that
Are you kidding me? I dashed through. Okay, I missed that. God, I'm getting hit by everything right now. That's not good. And I should have gotten that so I could get the health. But it's not good if I lose. I missed the life earlier. I just remembered. I just realized. Crap. Actually, no, it's right here. Haha. The dumb. I have surpassed it. Let's
These
go.
attacks are intense. It shows how far we've come.
These scum are proving to be quite a handful.
Falco's in trouble.
These punks just won't give up.
There's so many of them. What the fuck? Come on. Wait, what happened to my guns? Why did they downgrade? Wow, okay. Wow, okay, I'm doing terrible right now. Well, they already downgraded. I might as well just enjoy this. I got another bomb. I already got all the lives.
These attacks are intense. It shows how far we've come.
These scum are proving to be quite a handful.
Fox, Falco's in trouble.
These punks just won't give up.
Yeah, really? I saved you. Why? No, why?
Thanks for letting me a hand.
There are...
out
Oh, thank God. I need this. Why? No, actually, why am I taking so much damage from this? Of all things. And where is the upgrades that I'm supposed to have? Here's one right here. Okay, let's just go up in here. Go in, get this. Oh, what? How? Such an annoyance. Yeah. Cool. Let's get rid of that, because that's annoying.
Leon, don't try sneaking up behind me.
You ain't best not to show any weak points, eh?
Oh, come on, this shit. Yeah. Alright, let's just... Cool. I got through.
What? How in the world?
What's up? You're shaking, Falco.
What?
We'll distract them. You guys take out the queen.
Can't kill them. I can kill them, but... Oh, really? Now? All the way back here, and I was right at the end. I did terrible this run. Alright, I will finish this.
These attacks are intense. It shows how far we've come.
These scum are proving to be quite a handful.
Fox, Falco's in trouble.
Kill that, and kill that.
Thanks, Fox.
Let's get rid of that and avoid all of those. I'm just gonna ignore the big one. He's not as important. This. I mean, unless there's no other enemies, I'll take him. These guys are more annoying. Oh God. Okay.
Don't try sneaking up behind me.
Doing your best not to show any weak points, eh?
Oh, come on, really? Alright, whatever. Yeah. Alright. Oh, okay. Of course I got hit by that.
Heat up enemies ahead.
What? How in the world?
What's up? Just checking something.
Cool.
Getting close to the grand finale.
We'll distract him. You guys take out the queen. Leon, Panther, let's go.
Oh, oh, health, health. Oh, come on.
Bugs, catch us if you can.
Look at that guy. He really thinks he's the man.
Fox!
It's time to confront the queen.
All right, let's go. All right, there we go. Yo, it's Greg. What's up? Just trying to beat this game. I got right up to this last level, and I attempted it multiple times, only to lose after a 7.5-hour stream.
The Queen.
So now I'm just trying to finish it. We already saw all that.
Look at the Queen. We can't get a self-destruct program through that armor.
Rats! Stupid armor!
What's wrong? Something's in the way. We just blasted. Okay, first things first. Destroy that armor.
Fox! Blast that red section!
All right, concentrate your fire right there. Watch out, everyone. He's up to something.
You did it, Fox! That looks like it's working!
Stop aiming at something else. Stop aiming at the stupid larva. Oh no, oh, no, 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 no. Why am I getting targeted so hard right now? Like, this did not happen last time.
How's this?
Give up already. Incoming. Ha! You think we'd be fooled by stupid impersonations?
No matter what you do, you're gonna win, Fox.
Don't be fooled. Keep it up, Fox!
Oof! Can't you tell your friends from your enemies?
I didn't even see this. No, 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 no. Where is it? Where is it? I need that. I need that. I need that. I didn't even know it was there. Incredible. Now, if only I could get that in the final final.
Here comes some more!
I need to go around this way. Got him. Good.
That program in there.
Okay. Got the queen. All right. Yeah, good luck. You're not going to get that shiny Regidrago for another 7,000 encounters. I'm calling it now. It's going to be the longest shiny hunting experience of your life.
Is it working?
I'm not sure, but
Something's wrong, Fox.
all for us. All things in the universe will be ours.
All right.
All for us. Everything in this universe exists for us. Bow before us. Submit to us.
What?
Is the self-destruct program working?
It should be working, but the Queen's suppressing it. This is bad. If she escapes now, she'll create an antibody.
Fox.
Fox!
Good luck then. You're going to need it.
And execute that program. This is it. The final.
Okay. Well, we already know what's happening. All right. Now I got to get my wrist ready because this is going to hurt.
Look out, everyone. That thing looks really steamy.
We must have a weak point. Watch the Queen's reaction.
Look at its mouth. Something's coming out. Oh my gosh. It's changing.
Oh, it's going blarg. It's going blarg. Blarg, 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 blarg. Wait, the blarg. I hate that I'm getting hit by that. I don't know how to avoid it.
I'll get close and blast them. Cover me, Fox. Ooh, can't you tell your friends from your enemies?
Come on. Come on.
Fox, take care of those mines. Fox, here, take this.
Oh, thank God. Awesome. Awesome. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay.
Mines, shoot 'em. Don't let 'em detonate.
Watch my back, Fox. Hey, stop joking around.
Come on, come on, let me get that. Come on, come on, let me.
This is for helping you.
Come on, almost. Come on, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that. Come on, give me that one. All right, cool. Okay.
Time to do or die. Let's move.
Okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Take that, take that. Okay. We're almost done. We're almost there.
Here I come, you evil space bag.
Oh, God. God. Oh, God. No. I did it? Are you kidding me? I did it? I did it. Oh my God, I did it. Oh my God. I can't believe I finally did it. I almost died. And I saved everybody. Let's go. Let's go. Okay.
Report in. All right.
Oh, I got 2 of the special flags. I got the silver emblem.
Okay. Preparation
Sick. All right, I can't believe I made it on that crappy run. That started out really poor. Started out extremely poor. But I'm glad I got that. Yes, it is okay to overwrite. We got this. All right, let's watch out the rest of the story play out. I'm gonna pay very close attention to it since I've never played it before.
team. Destruction is spreading
Woo!
across the entire planet.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's the end of the aperoids.
So the whole thing was just one big entity. She tried to bypass evolution by stealing souls, but you have to be born with one.
All ships, evacuate at maximum velocity. Let's go.
Dang, and I don't have to have an escape sequence. That was awesome. What a good game. To have its gripes, and I'll be completely talking about them when I go into my tier list that I'll make in a hot second. I'm gonna be finding a tier list at the moment. Come on. All right. What do we got here? So I'm just making sure this has everything. It doesn't have the one. Does this one have Starlink? Actually, let me see here. Starbucks games. Yeah, that has the 2D one. All right. Okay. I'm just trying to find one that has Starlink on it too. There it is. Okay, got one with Starlink. Good, good, good. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. That's exciting. I'm excited now. Oh, okay. Let's find what we got going on here. Okay, I could say I've beaten almost every game in the franchise. Almost. I need to go back into Starlink and actually do the extra Star Fox update. 'Cause I forgot to go back and do that when I added it. I really should just do that. Maybe I'll do it on stream. Because I enjoyed Starlink a lot. But I'll get into that when we do this tier list. Executive producer Satoru Iwata. I miss that man. Here's the end of the story, I'm assuming.
We did it, Fox.
I can't believe it. I'm still breathing.
But so many casualties. Peppy, Wolf's team. So many noble sacrifices.
Slippy, what is it?
What's that?
Hey, could that be... No, it couldn't.
Hey, you're all okay.
Whew, that was hairy. I promise I'm really gonna retire after this.
What's up, Peppy?
Fox, tell me it ain't so, buddy. You knew about this?
So that's why you're so calm, you sneaky dog.
Pepper is
What now? Fox?
My friends. Thank you.
God, I love that. I love that. That was great. Yeah, all missions complete. All right. I have the tier list ready to go. That's the end of that. Maybe at some point I'll stream a bunch of multiplayer games with friends in person, and then we'll play this multiplayer. I played a little bit of the multiplayer already to try it out yesterday, since I had the opportunity, and it was really fun. I haven't played it where we were doing R-Wing fights and stuff, because I mean, I'm used to the R-Wing battles in Star Fox 64, but playing it with the what is it called? Playing it with the what is it called? Fuck. I can't think of it. Yeah, so thinking of the whatever it's called. God damn it. My brain is blanking. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Not gonna lie. I don't need to draw that. It's already in command as one of the endings. I'm pretty sure. It's already in command as one of the endings you can get. All right, let us. Okay, so that's gonna be the end of the game for now. But we're gonna do this. Hold on, I need to find this. We're gonna swap over to that, and all right. Now we're here. Okay, so we are going to be checking this out. Okay, so now it's time to tier all of the Star Fox games. Every game that's been released, including Starlink, because I'm counting that as canon Star Fox lore. I'm pretty sure it is considered that at the moment, but I don't think there's been any anything that proves otherwise. And I'll be explaining each of my placements. This is going to be a completely subjective tier list. I can make an objective tier list as well if people want me to do that afterwards, but as it is, here, we're just going to turn on this. And now I just want to change this real quick. There we go. And that's good enough. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to rate each of them by my own personal preference of each game. Since I've played every single game in the franchise, the only one I haven't beaten, technically there's two, but the only one I haven't beaten is Star Fox Guard. And the only reason is because it's a tower defense game, and it's not that it's a bad game. I'm just very bad. I just never been a big fan of tower defense games. So it's not, I'm going to try to rate it more objectively because I think it's still fun. But it is definitely not a bad game. It's just one that I haven't gotten around to beat yet because it's slow paced and it takes a lot for me to play slower paced games like that. So maybe I'll stream finishing it or something like that. I played a couple hours of it when it first came out, but yeah, I've played and beaten each of these games. I haven't 100% in all of them. I haven't gotten all the content down of all of them, which I'll mention when I'm doing it, but I will place each of the games as I can. And some of them I have beaten on hard mode. Some of them I've beaten on I haven't beaten on hard mode. Some of them I've only played one time, or the others I've played multiple. So we'll go through each of them. So we're gonna go from. I'm gonna grab one. I missed it. Okay. What should we start with? What should we start with? Anybody has any want to know who I should start with for the tier list? Which Star Fox game of all of them? I guess maybe I should start with Assault, since I just finished it. Since this is the first time I played it, fresh off of the knowledge of it, I'm putting Assault at A. Assault, in my opinion, is a magnificent game. It's great. There's a bunch of little things that irritate me about it. The story is the best in the series. Like, this is one of the best stories in the entire franchise, and I think it is the best story in a singular game for the franchise. It's so good. The gameplay is pretty crisp for the most part, especially for on-rail shooter sections. But because of how muddy and dark it is, because it's on the GameCube, it didn't honestly feel like it was. It didn't feel that like I could get as much good depth perception out of it. It was just all melded together in backgrounds and enemies. So sometimes I was just getting confused by some stuff. But that was on occasion, not really a big thing because there was not all the levels looked like that. But yeah, no, it's good. The biggest issues I have with it is the Landmaster controls, which are absolutely abhorrent. I don't like them. And the grounded combat is simultaneously the best and the worst parts. It's so fun when you're playing and you're in control, but as soon as you're surrounded by enemies, it's an awful, awful experience. It's just terrible. I don't like that experience at all. Actually, let me see if I can zoom in a bit. That way we can... Where's the zoom? All right, there we go. We're going to keep this nice and zoomed. The game is just very good. I enjoyed it immensely. I don't think the game is at all, like, let me do this. There we go. I just want to make it so that way that's better. All right. I think the game is exceptional, but that little bit just kind of throws it off course for me. It's just the controls of the Landmaster, which is required, and the ground combat. As soon as you get kind of swarmed, it's an awful experience. Like you just start taking hits and you get stunned and everything. It's not that fun. The multiplayer though, very fun, and I do like the ground combat, especially in the multiplayer. The ground combat is just fast paced. It's quick. It's fun. It's good. It's entertaining. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm probably going to replay this game in the future at some point because I just love Star Fox games. But yes, at some point maybe I'll try to get play it on the hardest difficulty. I only played it on the second hardest difficulty this time, but I tried it on the hardest and I just was trying to figure out how the game worked most of the time. So I want to try to probably go back and play it on the hardest difficulty. But God, I can't imagine the final boss in the hardest difficulty. All right. What is the next game we should place? We'll place one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. The easiest one to place, Star Fox 64. This is a total S tier for me. It is my 5th favorite game of all time. Like, this game, I'm not gonna lie that there is some bias, but since it was my first game in the franchise that I ever played, but it is also just a phenomenal experience all around. Like, the game itself is just clean. It's basically a total upgrade off of Star Fox Original, and it's just super fleshed out, and it just feels so good. They added so much stuff, and it really had a lot of content for the game. Plus the variable level system, where depending on the what you did in the level, determined if you went to the easier route or a harder route. Is so good. Very, very intelligent game design, and it's so fun. So fun. I need to get the new NSOs, or I'll just hook up my N64 and I'll play through it on stream. I can play through it probably 3 or 4 times on a normal stream thing because I played this so many times. I'm so used to it. So yeah, that's definitely at S tier. Star Fox 64 3D, I'm gonna put it A tier. I'm not putting it S tier, not because I don't think it's a better version, but because I don't like how it controls as well on the 3DS. That's just personal preference. I think it's a total upgrade, and if you never play Star Fox 64, play Star Fox 64 3D. You're gonna love it, and it's worth it. But either one of them is just play either one if you never played it. 64 3D is just as good of a game, but I've only played through it once. Where I keep going back to the original because it just, to me, using an N64 controller feels better than using the 3DS control scheme, and that's just that's partly bias, partly nostalgia, partly I just love that the original, the way it feels. The game was designed well for the N64 controller. Yeah. So yes, that's that. Let me think. What's the next one we should do? So okay, I got those 3 done. let's let's play Star Fox 2. This one is in. This one is. I need to rename this tier. Rename. Okay. The one we don't mention. Yes. This game, Star Fox 2. There's some great ideas in Star Fox 2 that were later adopted by Star Fox Command and Star Fox Zero. But as Star Fox 2, I mean, it wasn't truly finished. But as it's released and as we see it, I have to judge it by that. It is a catastrophe. It is single-handedly a true catastrophe. The game is good ideas, like the idea that each of your lives are the team members you have. So if you lose a life, you lose a team member, and then you have to choose the next team member. So it's kind of a permadeath system in that regard. The gameplay is Star Fox, kind of, except it's only in first person. Now, if there's a way to go to third person that I don't know about, I would love to try it again with that knowledge, but it's only in first person. And I've beaten the game. I haven't beaten it on the harder difficulties because it just was such an abysmal experience. But most of the game will take place in outer space. Part of the game is a strategy base, and you have to move your ship to intercept with missiles, enemy ships, stuff like that. And that's very similar to the basic. If you've played Star Fox Command, it's the same exact like sort of strategic thing, but Star Fox Command fleshed it out more. Star Fox 2 is super basic, has almost nothing going for it besides base quote unquote strategy. But it's just not that. It just doesn't feel that good. Plus, when you're doing the battles, you're now in outer space, but it's impossible to see where your enemies are. And with the first-person cockpit view, your normal 3x4 screen is now even shrinked further because you have a UI surrounding it, which is fine normally if you could see the things that were happening, which you couldn't because of the stars in the background. If you tried seeing where an enemy was in the distance, you couldn't tell if it was a star or an enemy. Fighting Starwolf, I believe. Yeah, fighting Starwolf in that game was awful. Just like, it was just a very bad time. Fighting anything that you needed to fight, enemies would just disappear in and out from the distance, and it'd be hard to do, and it just was a very clunky gameplay with the flying. It just wasn't intuitive. The first game was better in every way when it came to the flying. And it was sort of like treading the beginning for the like idea of the gameplay, and the fact that it was on the SNES, which had no good depth reception. It was very hard to have good depth reception in that. The first Star Fox did it so much better than the second one did, and of course it wasn't fully optimized as far as I'm aware. Like, it wasn't finished properly, but the game was fine. And the art, I think the best parts about it were when you were in the walker in the base. That was the best gameplay of the entire game. It was so clean compared to the rest, and it felt good to play compared to everything, compared to flying or anything like that. So I would say that's why I put this in the bottom tier, essentially the F tier. It's an okay game with great ideas, but horrible execution. And that's how I think of it. It's not at all. It's the black sheep of the Star Fox franchise in more ways than one. Black sheep being that it's such a weird departure for the franchise, and also that it's just horribly done. And thankfully, I kind of glad it was canceled, because it was not that good of a game. And if it came out back then, it would have probably stained the Star Fox reputation, in my opinion, further than it does now. But we're moving on. We're going to keep going. Since I mentioned it, Star Fox Classic is in B or C. I've beaten all the paths of Star Fox SNES. I'm going to put it at C, because it just didn't age well. And I'm not good. And this is subjective. So like, I didn't play this game when I was a kid. I played it very recently, essentially, like within the past couple years. And then I played through I played the easiest path a couple years ago, and then I played the other two paths on stream not long ago, which you can check out on my VODs, probably. If not, you can check it out on my YouTube, which I posted the VODs there. So I played that, and the game is good. It's a very solid game. The harder difficulties are ungodly, unfairly hard. I had to constantly rewind with the SNES feature with the NSO feature in order to beat them, or else I would have to keep replaying them from start. But they are ungodly hard because they just throw crap at you and they don't actually have good patterns and such. You just take hits and you can't do anything about it. But it was a good game. It's a very good game. Solid entry, good introduction to the franchise. But because of just the way that it is since it's on the SNES and it's not that optimized because it's on the SNES, I had to put it here, and it just doesn't feel well because of how the 3D is in the SNES. It's just not as good as the others. It's a good game. It's a solid, decent game, but it's not Star Fox 64 Assault or 3D CS 64. Not at all. Let's put one of the ones that's going to be more contentious. I'm putting Star Fox Adventures at S tier. Now, the reason I'm putting it at S tier is because it kind of introduced this. I have this thing about game franchises where I don't want them to be just one genre. If I love the world and the lore, I want to see it spread out amongst different types of gameplay styles, amongst different types of adventures, amongst different types of ways to deepen the understanding of characters. Star Fox Adventures was all of this and more, being that it was essentially a Zelda game in the Star Fox universe. Very solid game. I have my own little individual gripes about it because it was slow paced, sometimes a little bit confusing at times, but overall the game was very good, and it was one of the most enjoyable experiences I've had on the GameCube without any question. It's just a solid game all around. Do I think Star Fox Assault has a better story overall? Yes. Do I think it has better overall combat on the ground? No. I honestly prefer the beat 'em up. You have the staff and you're running around in the adventure style format in Star Fox Adventures. It's very, very good, very clean. If you like Zelda games and you like Star Fox and you never played this game, I don't know what's wrong with you. This game is basically a mixture of the two worlds in one, and it's good. It's very good. The history of it's interesting as well, especially since it was developed by Rareware. You know? So I put that up at S tier because I personally just really, really, really love that game. You know, it's very good. It's just very good. Let's place the weird black sheep here, Starlink. I'm also going to place this at, I'm placing this at B. Starlink. So if we're just talking about the Star Fox storyline of Starlink, which there is in the Switch version, if for anybody who doesn't know, and if anybody who doesn't know what Starlink is a game made by Ubisoft, which is like this outer space sort of like you go to different planets, you have to do the things on the discovering things on different planets, being resources stuff, saving bases, stuff like that, and it has its own plot point, and it's on all the major platforms. But on the Switch version, Nintendo partnered with them to make a special. Oh, it's also a Toys to Life game where you have these little figures and ships that you can put on your controller and play while you're using those, and it's just neat like that. So then and also you swap off weapons. I keep adding the little addendums to this, but you swap off weapons and you can change the weapons and types of weapons you have. I never got any of the extra expansion stuff. I forgot to. I wanted to really bad, but I didn't have the money at the time. So I got the game and I had the R-Wing, which is what came with the Switch version. And so I played with the R-Wing attachment and the weapons that it gave and the wings and stuff, the stuff that it came with. But yeah, so the game itself is a solid game. It's nothing special. It's a decent game. It's repetitive, but the Star Fox side story That was really good. I will make a note that I have not done the update with Falco, Peppy, and Slippy. There is an update with that story, but the main Star Fox story that came at the launch was Wolf is now in this new system, and Fox and crew chased him into it. So throughout the main story of Starlink, you're now also doing Star Fox side story where the Fox and his crew are teamed up with the Starlink crew, and they are actually helping them with the main story at the same time of them chasing down Wolf and trying to find him. And that was just a really fun thing. You get to see like sort of a crossover where the story would be one thing on in Starlink on another platform like PS4 or Xbox One, but on the Switch, you get Star Fox characters integrated with it as well. It was very interesting, and the gameplay's a little bit tedious at times, but it was very fun. The exploration was interesting, going to the different planets was fun, and the outer space exploration was also fun. Like, it just wasn't, it wasn't super good because it was just a very generic game, but the actual fact of Star Fox and everything there made the experience so much more enjoyable, in my opinion. I mean, I'm just saying that because I'm a huge Star Fox maniac. I love the franchise. So yeah, I'm putting Starlink at B. Actually, I'm gonna be moving this around. Let's get rid of this row. Let's get rid of the D rank because there really isn't a D rank game. We're gonna move this up to the same tier. I'm gonna be moving these around as I'm thinking. All right. So now in D rank, I'm gonna throw. Let's throw Star Fox Guard. Oops. This is the only game that I haven't finished yet because it's a tower defense game. It takes place. You're playing as Slippy in this game, which to some people is already their least favorite thing because these people don't. A lot of people hate Slippy for no reason. The good thing about this game is that it kind of builds the lore because now you were in Assault, you had Beltino, who is Slippy's dad. In this, you have Slippy's uncle, who is running this a base that you have as Slippy are called in to help him with his security systems, being that he's a mechanic, of course. So you're basically helping build and defeat these enemies infiltrating the bases by controlling the cameras and the little robots with them. And so it's a tower defense game, and it's very interesting. I really should get back to beating it because I do enjoy it. At the time, since I was playing Star Fox Zero 2, I beat Star Fox Zero, I tried a little bit of Guard, and then I moved on to another game. So yeah, that's part of that. So yeah, like it's nothing much to really mention. I'm putting it C tier just because it isn't my favorite. I personally am one of the people that prefer these kind of games over a tower defense, especially since on-rail shooters are my favorite genre. But this game is still not any C and higher. Anything here is a great game. Like they're solid games. They're not bad in any way. They're not bad in any major way. This is just bad in a lot of major ways. So yeah, Guard solid. This I'm putting at A tier. I'm gonna put this in front of Assault. Yeah, I'm gonna put that like that. So Star Fox Zero gets a lot of hate, unjust hate. Yes, I understand that the controls are kind of strange thanks to how they implemented the two-screen system, and the forced gyro controls for some people were annoying, especially gyro steering. I turned that off, like the gyro steering, and I just used gyro aiming only. So it wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the controls, especially when I altered them. I even tried it with the regular thing, and it was fine. It didn't feel too it didn't feel like it hurt. It was too bad. But there is some gripes, and that is partly because of the two-screen system. One screen is fully so the gamepad is a fully first-person experience. If you're just playing on the gamepad, you're only going to get first person. So you have to play with the TV if you want to fly around. However, this is where my biggest gripe is, and the only reason it's not an S tier for me. When you're in like the like one of those arena battles, you know, like where the G diffuser system comes out and you're fighting the boss, you are really, really beholden to. You have to use both screens because unfortunately, when you're in the open area, the the third person screen on the TV is only going to show you from a thing, and if you turn, it doesn't turn with you immediately. You have to keep going straight, and it'll slowly turn with you. So the camera on that, so you have to really rely on first person in that. And I don't like first person in Star Fox at all. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't work well, in my opinion. I don't like it. I mean, I know people who do like it, and that's fine. I don't like it. But that's the really big hiccup for me. I love the game. The game is gorgeous, by the way. The game is absolutely gorgeous. The game is extremely fun. It's very worth it. Very solid. I really recommend it to people who just like Star Fox or like on-rail shooters or just want to play it. Like, it's definitely not a bad game by any means. It just has the little things. And the cool thing about it is there's a main path you take in the story, and then you can unlock other planets by replaying different planets. So it's really neat. I think it's really cool. I haven't actually gotten around and unlocked all the planets. I did a little bit of effort to try to unlock a couple of them. I don't remember how many I actually unlocked, but I really wanted to go back and finish it. But then other games came out and I was focused on them, so I kind of put it aside. But Star Fox Zero is a very good game, and I love it extremely. So yeah, that's the main reason it's below Star Fox Adventures for me. Like, Star Fox Adventures is a completely wholly new take on Star Fox universe, plus introduced characters that mainstayed through every game since. Except for Star Fox Zero, I really wish Crystal was in that like it really should have been. I know it's sort of a reboot of a game, like it's sort of like takes place as a mixture of Star Fox 1, 2, and 64, but it's very, very good. Plus the reconnaissance stuff with the little Rob robot and the little drone and the walker levels are very good in Zero. They're worth every second of it. Very solid game. I just keep remembering a lot of those fucking levels because they're so funny. But yeah, very good. And now I'm gonna put this one, Command. I'm putting this below Guard. Star Fox Command is a weird fucking game. So the strategy elements of Star Fox 2 were a good idea. And I think Star Fox Command did them better. But I still don't think they're good. I don't think they're amazing. I think they're passable. I think they're a mechanic. I think they exist. I do not think that they are very... I don't think that they are very, like, hard to say. I don't think that they are very user-friendly. But that's not the reason why it's down that low. Like, if it was just that, I would probably have it up in B tier or something like that. No, the reason it's down that low in C tier is because of its multiple endings. See, they decided to take it a weird direction. So in the battles, just like in Star Fox 2, in the battles when you go in the strategy, like when you just intercept a missile or intercept something, you get put into like an arena with battles, either in outer space, depending on where you are, or in an arena on the ground, depending on the planet, or, different stuff. And you're flying your R-Wing, and you have to just kill all the enemies and stop all the missiles or whatever the thing. It's never like something specific, like do something in a certain amount of time or anything like that. It's kill all the enemies. All right. I mean, I've only played through the main, the first story that they give you, and I'll get to that. But so I don't know if there's any other like differences in other paths. I have to try it again. I'll have to try to replay it again. But the game is that right there is boring. Like, it was like, oh cool, I'm in a little battle and you're flying around shooting things. You're playing Star Fox. It isn't as good because it's on the DS, and the DS controls do not work well with Star Fox. Not enough buttons for it, in my opinion. Yeah, not enough buttons for it. So those levels are very, very basic. There's just a little arena, and that's it. And that's it. You kill the enemies, you're done. Then you go back to the strategy, and you have to intercept the next thing and the next thing until you get to the final point and beat the whatever boss thing is there, and the bosses are kind of generic overall. I can't quite remember any of them besides a giant UFO. I think it was a giant UFO, and I don't remember much else for the bosses that I encountered. But you then go through and you fight I forget what the actual race of people is. The evil, like they're like fish people or some shit, or amphibious. They're like fish people or something. I don't quite remember. I gotta Google this real quick. Hold on, we're googling this. Main antagonists in Star Fox Command. All right, the angler. Yeah, they were like fish people, anglers. That is the main enemies. So the angler emperor, and so they're like these anglerfish people things, and it's like whatever. It's a story. It's a story. The biggest qualm I have with it is okay. So since it's branch stories, let's talk about the story of it. In the story, it takes place a couple years after Assault, and in that time, Fox and Crystal broke up because Fox was afraid of hurting Crystal or getting her killed through his own stupidity and leadership. And so and then Slippy left and went on his own to go back to his home planet and to marry his love, and like a bunch of little things happen, you know. And Peppy is there still. He's now in General Pepper's place, like he's taken over of General Pepper's position. And I don't remember where Falco was. I think Falco was the only one with you at that point. I can't quite remember. Falco and Rob, obviously. So Fox is now in charge of the Great Fox, and him and Falco are now. I think Falco. I can't remember if Falco was there anymore, honestly. But so the story goes and like that. So Crystal's not there, and in this time frame, she goes and joins up with Star Wolf. She joins up with Wolf's team. And that's one of the weirdest things right there. She is in a relationship, I think, with Wolf or Panther. I can't quite remember. And in the story, and the first story you get, the one that you're forced to do right away, you have to. She leaves Star. You beat Star Wolf. She leaves Star Wolf. She joins back up with you, and then at the end of the game, she leaves Fox and then gets with Wolf at the end. And it's just such a strange fucking ending, and it's a bad ending. It's not even like the canon ending. Hold on 1 second. I need to. Ugh. I need to let this happen so I can finish this up. This advertisement was encroaching. It actually is finally like telling me when there's an ad. It's crazy. Whew. So yeah, ad's done now. I needed to get that over with because of it was going to do an forced ad anyway. So in the end, she goes back to the thing. It's a bad ending. It's not even the canon ending, but that's the first ending they give you. It's the non-canon ending. They really should have given you the canon ending as the first one, in my opinion. If they did that, it would be higher on the thing. But because the first ending you get is a bad ending, that's just stupid, and it made me lose respect for the story of that game specifically. It's not even the canon ending, you know? We don't technically know what the canon ending is, but I can assume it's one of the good endings or it's one of the middle endings, which aren't bad at all, you know? But these endings range from Fox and Crystal get married and have kids or something in a family to Fox goes into a depressed stupor because Crystal left him. Not in this ending specifically, but he starts becoming an alcoholic. Then him and Falco and him both retire as pilots and become G-Zero racers as a riff off of F-Zero. And other such things like that. There's a couple of them where literally Fox is just in a depressed rage, you know, and other stuff like that. Like he goes off and I think he becomes a solo mercenary and stuff like that. And like there's a lot of weird shit in those different endings. Some of them are really good. I haven't experienced most of them. I should probably try to get a couple more of them. Try to get one of the good endings, hopefully. But I think there's a neutral ending. It's like that the whole team gets back together, and like Slippy, Fox, Falco, and Crystal, and they just go back on adventures and stuff. But I think that's the canon ending, or if that is an ending. I can't quite remember. But it's just the fact that the first ending you get is a bad ending is just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and that's the reason why it's here. Plus, I already don't like games with multiple endings. Like it depends on how it is. If it's a game with multiple endings that doesn't really affect much, that's one thing. But this is something that can affect the path of the entire. This is something that can affect the path of the entire franchise. You know, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, this right here is my subjective tier list. Just downloading this. Actually, no, I don't need to download. I'm going to save, copy it, copy image, and I'm going to post it to the Discord, which I'm going to post here in the links. There's my Twitter. Here's my Discord. And yeah, so I'm going to post this here. I'm posting it in the general. Yeah. So this is my tier list. This is subjective. I'm going to do an quick objective one as well, and then I'll post that as well. All right, so now it's time. We're going to do a quick objective tier list. This is going to be a tier list where I take into consideration the consoles that they came from and their limitations. I take into consideration what they had compared to either previous or games after, or compared to games that came before them specifically, because you can't judge Star Fox 64 off of Star Fox Zero, you know? And basically what the games have and as a whole for the game and how much content and how much good content is there. So I'm gonna do a quick objective tier list. So this one, this now that gets its own. We're gonna change the name of this to D, because means that there's no this objectively there's no bad game in the franchise, objectively. Bless me, Jesus. So there's no objective bad game. Even if I don't like Star Fox 2 and there's a lot of wrong with it, it's still a capable game, and you can beat it and you can enjoy it. It's not like it's objectively bad. So we're gonna put everything back on. How do I how do I clear the template? Reset. Okay. All right. So we're gonna reset. We're gonna delete this row. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to throw Star Fox 2 in D, and I'm going to explain it like this. Okay, actually, we're going to go in order. Actually, no, we're going to go in order. Star Fox Classic, that's going in S tier. The reason it's going in S tier for objective tier list, tier ranking, is that it is the one, as the first game in the franchise, it set the course. Two, because it's on the SNES and it's utilizing the Super FX chip and a 3D environments and 3D models for the time of it in 1994, that was incredible. This was one of the most impressive games at the time because of that. Because it oops, I want this. Yeah. Because it did what it did. It was just impressive. This game single-handedly pushed forward gaming technology based on what it was able to accomplish in that game, and it was a solid and very fun game. It's still a fun game. I've played through it a couple times now, and it's good. I really enjoy it. Next up, we'll talk about Star Fox 2. The reason it's in D tier is because it has its... Well, thank you for the follow, Firefox Warriors. I appreciate it. If you want to join the Discord, you can. If you want to follow Twitter, please do. And I hope you have a enjoyable and wonderful night as well. Hey, Star Fox. Yes, Star Fox is amazing. I just finished Assault earlier this stream, and if you didn't see it, and I'm glad because it's the last game I needed to play. It's the only game I hadn't played at that point. So I'm happy I finally have played every single game in the franchise, and I own a physical copy of all of them except for Star Fox 2, which was never essentially released. Maybe I should get an SNES Mini and count that. But yeah. So yeah, Star Fox 2, the reason I put it at so low for an objective tier, I already did the subjective tier if you didn't see that, Firefox Warriors. I actually posted it a little bit ago in the Discord server that we have, which, again, I'll just post just to make sure it's there. The reason that Star Fox 2 is in D is because it has so many things that are not optimized. Star Fox Original had a lot of good 3D graphics and stuff like that. And Star Fox 2 didn't really until you did like the walker levels where you actually played in the walker. It was the only time that you actually that's fine, understandable. It's only like the walker section is the only time where the game looks and feels really good. The visuals and everything in the basic gameplay is lackluster. The strategy element is fine, which is why it's not like a bad game. It's a fine addition. It's just not amazing. Like it doesn't really work the best, but it's good. It's good enough for the time. It was the very bare bones basic. It was just the actual flight and main combat for the main gameplay was just so lackluster, and unfortunately, that's what really draws it back this far. Despite this game, the original being so good compared to on the same platform compared to this, this is just the worst in my opinion. In my opinion, it's subjectively the worst, and from just basically what is there, it is objectively the worst game in the franchise. There is definitely appeal to it, and I have played through it already. It is a decent game. But it is definitely of a game franchise of a lot of amazing games. It is the worst of a lot of amazing games, and I'll give it that. You know, it's not unplayable by any means. It's just it has so many good ideas and so many horrible follow-ups. And of course, it wasn't a finished game, so we can't really judge it. But because it's not finished, it also is a detriment. So the third game to come out was Star Fox 64. This is, again, another S-tier objective game. It basically is a reimagining of the classic one on the new platform at the time. And Star Fox 64 took everything from this game, made it pretty, like really colorful, really vibrant, a lot of new worlds, a lot of new destinations, a lot of new layouts, new ways to play, being you could go first person and third person. You had the submarine in the one level. You had the Landmaster in a couple levels. You had now the G Diffuser, which was made it so you could go into an open arena type of battle, and each boss fight was iconic and enjoyable. And then you had like the things like the Star Wolf fights and the variable difficulty. All of that was because the variable difficulty is if you did something specific in a level that you then went to a harder difficulty. Like if you got all the gold rings in Corneria, you moved up to the harder difficulty path. And if you did a specific thing in each of those levels, you maintained that harder difficulty until the end, which you had a harder ending, a harder final boss, and a harder ending where you had to escape following James Mccloud and have an escape sequence. That variable difficulty is incredible. Plus the fact you have unlocks, which allows you to get things like the multiplayer where you can do grounded battle and run around, and other additional content, made this, including a training mode, which I don't even think I played with a little bit when I was younger, but I never really messed with. It's just all that content in this one game. It was phenomenal. And it's easily, in my opinion, it's still the best Star Fox game in total objectivity. I think it is considered one of the best. I think that it might have its hiccup here and there because Landmaster's kind of hard to aim unless you get used to it. I had to get used to it over many times playing it. And other little quirks and stuff that it has. There's definitely a flaw in every single one of these games, but it's partially because of the platform it's on. And I'm not going to sit here and say that every platform is perfect. But yeah, for what it was with the technical limitations, this game is phenomenal and it's in S tier. Um, so the next game to come out was Star Fox Adventures. And we're gonna place that. Star Fox Adventures, I'm putting at A. Star Fox Adventures is another phenomenal, fun game, and I enjoy it greatly. Yes, Star Fox Adventures, I consider if in my subjective, I put it up at S rank along with Star Fox 64. It's one of my favorite games in the franchise. What makes it so great is because it's not trying to be exactly everything before it, where every game before it was just an iteration of the same game. Star Fox SNES was the original. Star Fox 2 tried to create it, but when Rareware made Adventures, I don't think they had a Star Fox 2 to go by as data. And Star Fox 64 was just a reimagining of Star Fox SNES. Like, it was a complete reimagining, rework, redone, and with like essentially it's the same story. Star Fox Adventure is the first game in the franchise to create a unique and individualized story outside of the Lilat system with a brand new type of gameplay, unique to this game alone, being that it's very much a Zelda game. And I found that so fun when I played through it a few years ago. Like, it was so good. There's obviously some control issues that I think is a thing, and I think that it doesn't look the best just because it's on the GameCube. In my opinion, that generation of games has a weird uncanny valley vibe when things tried to be a little too realistic, and it just a little too grungy at times. It's a little too dirty with the graphics. But overall, it's a wonderful game, and I consider it one of my favorites. But as a game on the GameCube, it had a lot of content. It was a very good. It didn't push the technology at all, so it wasn't. Oh yeah, I have no issues with the controls. Oh, the controls. Yeah, I don't have any issues with many of the controls. It was like there was just some weird interactions that would happen that just didn't make sense and feel bad. Like, it's one of those things you had to get used to it. But it was like little things. It was never a major issue. It was just little things. The only thing I don't like about Adventures, really, is that going to the planet was this very bare bones on rail shooter where you're in the R-Wing and you're going to the planet and you have to just go through like the warp portals or some shit. I forget what exactly it was. And it just felt like it was shoed in, like it was just like a shoehorned in there, just jammed in there just for content and just little like, here's the classic feel of Star Fox. And it just didn't feel that good. It just felt basic and tedious after a while of going back and forth. But it was, I mean, I love classic Star Fox gameplay, so it was fun enough. But yeah, and the final boss had that too. The final boss had that, and it was actually really fun with the final boss. I enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, Star Fox Adventures as a whole, it's a phenomenal game. It's a very good game. Gets a lot more hate than it needs to. Honestly, it's way too much hate, but it's a great game. And next to Star Fox Assault, I'm putting that also up there. I think Star Fox Assault is the best story of the franchise. And I just finished it today. I just finally finished it. Yeah, exactly. Star Fox Assault is the best story in the franchise. It covers a lot of things. It kind of is a moving on point for the previous generation of the Star Fox team, being, James Mccloud, Peppy, Pigma, and Pepper. Since I believe Pepper was part of the original Star Fox team under James Mccloud. But like Pigma dies in it, Pepper essentially dies in it. Like they just so much like it's like so much drama and like all the crazy things, like especially when you had to fight Pepper. Oh, that was so heartbreaking. I mean, I played Command before I played Assault, so I was kind of spoiled for some things, but like as a whole, it was like, oh, this is so cool. The only thing that really keeps it from being S tier is the poor controls for the Landmaster. I played with the dual stick controls, which honestly seemed like the best controls. I don't think I tried the other controls, but the dual stick seemed to be the best. And it just the grounded combat with the Landmaster was really hard to get used to. The uh uh the grounded combat when you're when you're running around and running gunning, it's great. It's so fun until you're in an area where there's too many enemies and now you're getting batted around and you're taking too much health and you eventually die. It's super hard to get out of a situation where you're surrounded. So it becomes one of the most fun things to being the worst and most abysmal experience possible part of the game. So I think that it's a lot. Again, it's like Star Fox 2. It's a lot of great ideas with some minor tweaks that needed to happen. And that's what it seems like it based on just the feel stuff. If Star Fox Assault got a whole remake or a remaster or something like that, I think that they could fine tune those and make it so much more clean and enjoyable. But as it is right now, Star Fox Assault, I'm putting it as A. It's an A rank. It's a phenomenal game, and it's deserving of such praise. All right, so the next game that come out was Star Fox Command, putting that at C. C for Command. It's not the reason why it's there. It's mostly because it's very story driven, but the story it's the split story that kind of holds it back. It could have one very good story, but each of the story endings just are kind of lackluster or just very strange, which is appealing in a way, but they're not like, some of them are good, some of them are very bad, and some of them are just middle, which is the point. The biggest thing that holds it back is that the first first ending you are forced to get is the ending where Fox and Crystal, where Crystal leaves Fox and joins up and then gets with Wolf, or joins Star Wolf again. And it's just such a weird ending, especially since it's not canon. And the actual there's even worse endings than that, especially one where she gets with Wolf and then Fox goes on a drunken stupor. But yeah, I explained that earlier in the stream, but yes, it's because of these weird dynamics, and the first story you get is a bad ending. You're forced to get, because you can't unlock alternate paths. Marcus Mccloud, I don't remember much about it because I only played through once. I haven't actually played the other endings yet. So I don't know. I have to Google it. Hold on. I have to Google Marcus Mccloud. What the fuck is Marcus Mccloud? Hold on. Are you... Oh my god. This is... Okay, yeah, this is considered I think one of the better endings. So yeah, this is one of the good endings of it. So yeah, I think that's interesting that it's one of the good endings. But yeah, it's the one where they basically get married and retire and then have a kid. So I think that's an interesting thing. I think that I think the one that's actually canon is that they keep going on adventures, so it leaves it open ended. But yeah, Star Fox Command has a lot of weird stuff, and I haven't replayed it because the strategy gameplay, again, it's doesn't push the DS's capabilities. It doesn't feel like it adds anything really fresh to the franchise, even if it is essentially fresh at the time of it coming out, since Star Fox 2 had never been publicly released. And it's definitely better strategy than Star Fox 2, better combat than Star Fox 2. But the one thing that it lacks compared to the other games is that it's just the combat is very bare bones, and it's an arena and you have to kill all the enemies, and the story elements are just strange in their choices. And it doesn't make sense that the first ending you get is a bad one, and it's just it should be just a very generic ending and be like, I don't know. I don't understand why it has multiple endings. It just does. It didn't need it. It's a very, especially with Adventures in Assault coming right before it, it's already a very story driven franchise, like the story is there, the lore is there. They didn't need to create alternate dimensional lore, it doesn't make sense. And that's why it's at C. That's just why it's at C. It's not it's a kind of a lackluster Star Fox game. Not bad. There's people that it is their favorite Star Fox game, and that's fine because that's their prerogative. I know people that Star Fox 2 is their favorite Star Fox game, and that game is absolutely bad. See, we don't know what the true ending is officially, but it's assumed that the true ending, I'm pretty sure, is the one where they all come back. So Slippy comes out of retirement from his family. Falco's there. Fox and Crystal joins back up with Fox, and they all just go back on more mercenary adventures. And I think that's supposed to be the true ending. Or something similar to that. I haven't actually watched all the endings, so I don't know all of them off the top of my head. But I think that's like a middle ending like that, like an ending that's sort of in the middle where it's not bad, it's not good, it's right in the middle, and it just kind of feels good to continue just in case they do something for after it, And Star Fox Command, because of Star Fox Command, is the reason why Zero was a reboot. You know, it wasn't. That was the entire reason Zero was an entire reboot. So we're gonna just go keep Command at C. That's just I don't know what the true ending is. I don't think anybody does yet until they make a game that actually takes place after it. But until then, let's move on to the next game that was released, Star Fox 64 3D. This one is going to A. The reason it's not an S is so as a Star Fox 64, it is better than Star Fox 64, which makes sense. It is cleaner, it looks nicer, it has multiple different control schemes and elements, plus all the content of the original and more. What really holds it, that makes it that it doesn't isn't any like S tier, is because it is a remake on a platform that can manage a lot more than the actual game made it manage. So the 3DS could do so much more with Star Fox. They could have made it so much more graphically intense. They could have made it a brand new game with a whole lot more story. But the remake is that. It's a remake. It's objectively a better remake because it fixes a lot of little things. It cleans up a lot of Star Fox 64. It's a good game. It has N64 and 3DS control schemes, which make it better by default because it has multiple ways of playing. And I said before that I don't like it near as much as Star Fox 64 just because I like the feeling of the N64 controller. I'm not going to say that that's a reason why I'm putting it here because I think it's could be on par with Star Fox 64, but for the 3DS and what came before it, it's just a remake. It's just a remake of the original. It's nothing else, nothing more besides a couple little tweaks and upgrades. And I can't put it at S tier just because it doesn't push the envelope of the platform. It's just something that just felt right for the platform. So it's not bad at all. And I'm not gonna say that I think this is just objective that it just doesn't add anything new to the franchise. It doesn't add anything new. It doesn't push any of the envelope. It's a phenomenal game, but it just is Star Fox 64 again. So I'm keeping it at A tier. All right. Now these two came out at the same time, Zero and Guard. Let's put Guard up first. Guard, I'll put at B. It's a solid game all around. The game is a tower defense game, and it knows what it wants to be, and it knows what it is. It's not afraid to be a tower defense game. It's a good game. I played a little bit of it. It's the only Star Fox game I haven't finished just because a slow pace is like a tower defense is just too slow paced to keep my attention for an extended period of time. I will go back and finish it. It's just like I just finished Star Fox Assault. But I have played a few hours of it, and it is a solid game. It is a good game. It is good. It's right in the middle. It's not terrible. It's not amazing. It doesn't push the envelope in any way. It's not. It adds a new dynamic where you actually learn more about different characters, like Slippy, who is the main character of Star Fox Guard, and you have his uncle, who you are helping out. So you literally have some new knowledge, some new stuff. You learn some new technology, some new lore, whatever. It's just additional, which is fine because that is exactly what it is to Zero, which I'm also putting at A tier. Now Zero has its flaws, and I won't deny those flaws. Actually, let me move this around. Star Fox Guard is going top of C. Zero is going at objectively Zero is going at B. Yeah, we'll go there. So Zero is a phenomenal game. Again, I honestly really enjoyed this game when it came out, and I played through it. Like in one sitting, I beat the entire game. I just enjoyed that game so much. It's a beautiful game, a gorgeous game. Has some control quirks, and I understand that that's a turnoff for some people, but it isn't really that bad. It added so much new stuff to Star Fox, though. Like, actually, you know what? No, I'm swapping Star Fox 64 3D and this. It added so much new stuff to Star Fox in terms of gameplay stuff. Like, it added officially for the first time ever added the Walker, which was originally in Star Fox 2, and made the Walker and element very fun and enjoyable in the game, swapping between R-Wing and Walker in levels. It added a new thing with the drone, which was more reconnaissance and hacking and slower paced gameplay, but it was very interesting and fun, and it was kind of explorational. So it was really interesting, and I liked that a lot. And it also had traditional Star Fox gameplay, which felt amazing. Oh my god, the gameplay just felt so good. It was very clean. The only issue is that when you had the open arena is that you were forced to use both screens. Overuse the story, but best game. What do you mean? I have to I have to repeat that I don't know what you're referring to in that. And overuse the story, but best game. I can't remember. I can't figure that out. Well, just clarify that for me, pretty please. Yeah, Star Fox Zero, like the gameplay is great. The only thing that's really griping is that you have to use both screens when you're in an arena fighting a boss or in an open like area. So you have to, because the screen, the third person camera doesn't really show you from behind the R wing. It shows whatever. Nintendo overuse the story. You mean the story from like 64, like like the reimagining of it? I Okay, so I'm gonna say that that's also part of why it's there, is because it's not a unique story. It's also just a reimagining of Star Fox because Command kind of screwed the pooch with the story, making it so things they had to reboot it in some way, and I think that that's why we don't have mainstays like Crystal. We don't have like other characters there. We have the old version of Star Wolf, including Pigma, who was dead at this point. So it was a complete reboot, and it kind of makes sense for the game and itself because it kind of mentions that there's alternate dimensions and stuff like that, and dimensional transport, which makes it even more like intriguing. The story isn't anything special though, and the gameplay is really where it shines. It really gets a lot of hate for its gameplay, but overall it's super solid and beautiful, and it made use of the gamepad extremely well, especially if you because it was focused on the controls being around that. But no, yeah, I can understand the idea because there's people that say they just didn't want a rehash of 64, while there was a lot of fans that were saying they just wanted a rehash of 64. So it's very uniquely split right now in terms of what people like, if people like Zero a lot or not. But objectively, I would consider, based on what it contains, the content, the ability of unlocking new planets after the game, after you beat the game, and unlocking new levels and stuff like that, as well as the fact that it was also came with a physical copy of Star Fox Guard along with it in a 2-box set, was also kind of a boon for it, which I would say, but that retail aside, that's just separate from the actual game itself. It's not at S tier just because of its quirks that really hold it back, and the fact that it is just a reimagining of Star Fox 64 again. But it is, in my opinion, one of the better Star Fox games, and I adore this game. I will replay this game again. I haven't gotten around to do it. I have barely really played on my Wii U since the Switch came out, but I will replay it. I have other games I need to finish on the Wii U beforehand, like Bayonetta 2. So yeah, this game, it's a very good game. And finally, Starlink. Putting that at B. Starlink, again, I'm going to just judge it based on the Star Fox crossover element, like the Star Fox story. Because the gameplay is solid. It feels like it's it feels like a Star Fox game. You know, it feels like it's an open universe Star Fox game where you travel to different planets, you reconnaissance, you fight enemy like monsters, stuff like that, fight enemies. It's a good game. I enjoyed it a lot. Some of the ground controls sucked, like the flying sucked when you're like doing the ground, and it was kind of slow paced at times. But the game is great. The main game itself is great. And then you have the added Star Fox side story that it also coincides with the main story of the Starlink plot for the Switch. Makes it even better than the main Starlink game. Like if you got Starlink on PS4 or Xbox One, you weren't enjoying the game. That was not the full experience. It was the way it's seen is that it was obviously intended for the Star Fox crossover on the Switch, and they ported it to other systems without that feature because, you know, Star Fox and Nintendo. So it just feels like that the Switch version is the only real version of this game, and it is a good game. I enjoyed the game all the way through. I will not judge the later updated story DLC for Star Fox base with Falco, Slippy, and Peppy becoming playable characters. But I will say that this main thing where you're chasing down Wolf to try to stop like the international like a drug ring essentially was interesting, like a smuggling ring. It was cool, and you got to fight Wolf multiple times, and you chase him down to different planets. It was fun. I enjoyed that aspect of the story a lot, and the fact that you got a cool R-wing toy with it was even better. I love that R-wing toy. It's so nice. I have it in the box right now for Starlink, and I should go back to Starlink just so that way I can do the uh Peppy, Slippy, and Falco stuff and see what it's like. I'll have to try it out, you know. But yes, it is a very good game. So now this right here, what we have in this right at the moment, what I just got a message. We have right here in the moment is this is what I consider the objective tier list of all the games. I would say that there's no order for these two. I think these can be swapped either way because they both kind of set the course for the franchise as a whole, and they are. I'll put Star Fox 64 a little above because it is a better game in terms of just total balance as well. But these are both S tier in terms of objectivity. They created the formula. They created the mainstays. They created and improved immensely upon whatever the platform was and pushed their platforms to their limits. These games are all phenomenal. They all pushed this franchise into different directions and all improved the franchise in different ways and really did expand the universe in great strides. These were just great games. They were good. They were they were enjoyable. The Star Fox 64 is as good as Star Fox 64 original, the 3D version. But again, it doesn't really push the platform or push the series to any new heights. It is just a remake, which is why it's so low. Starlink is a crossover. It is a fun crossover, and it's unsure if it's actually canon, but it seems like it is canon. So I recommend playing it if you are a Star Fox fan. It is a good game, and if you like Star Fox, you're probably going to like Starlink a bit. I think you will. These are kind of the strange strange gameplay, but they add new aspects to the lore overall, new ideas, new stories, new expansions of the universe, being Slippy's uncle and the whole guard thing, and Command and its multiple endings. But as a whole, they aren't really pushing any boundaries, and they aren't really anything more than more generic versions of what they are. So like this is just a generic it's a pretty generic tower defense game, but instead you have multiple cameras you check on. You have to go to those cameras and then do the tower defense through those cameras, so you have limited scope and stuff like that. And Command is just very limited strategy elements with a choose your own adventure mixed in between. And Star Fox 2 was a game with a lot of great ideas that just never really panned out, but did get expanded upon in Star Fox Command, Star Fox Zero, and Star Fox 64. Star Fox 64 took the base of the future of Star Fox, that the work ethic that came from Star Fox 2. Star Fox Command took the strategy element of Star Fox 2, and Star Fox Zero took multiple elements, including the R-Wing transforming into the Walker. So it has a lot of little elements like that, and it really does. So you own Star Fox 64, Adventures, Assault, and Starlink. That's good. I honestly think those are all great games. Yes, I do think they will bring back Star Fox. I don't think they're done with the franchise, and they will never be done with the franchise. Star Fox is a very unique franchise in the way of it's one of the last big on-rail shooter franchises that are still made that aren't in arcades. Like, this is the last big console franchise, on-rail shooter franchise that is consistently made for every platform. Which I think, let me see. I'm just going to do a quick check. On almost every platform since the SNES, there has been a mainline Star Fox game. being SNES has Star Fox, Star Fox 2, 64 obviously. GameCube has 2 of them. The Wii's the only one that doesn't have a Star Fox game. The DS has a Star Fox game. There is no Star Fox game on the Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color or Game Boy. And there is on the DS, 3DS, and the Switch technically with Starlink. And the Wii U also has it too. The Virtual Boy also does not have a Star Fox, but there was one planned for the Virtual Boy. I do think they will bring it back. I think that Star Fox is never going away, because even though that these games don't necessarily perform the best, they at least perform consistently. I think at least 1 million on average. Like, they are consistent sellers. Star Fox 64 3D sold well. Star Fox 64 sold well. Star Fox Original, I think, sold well. Command sold pretty decently. Zero didn't sell that well, but it was also on the Wii U, which also held it back. But I think it had over 1 million on the Wii U. Assault and Adventures, I'm not sure. I have to look at the... You know what? Well, we'll look at that in a second. But yeah, if there's a game that you haven't played here, I recommend honestly trying any of them. If you have you have SNES Online with the Nintendo Switch Online service, play Star Fox 2 and Star Fox Classic. Go for it. Enjoy it. Try them out. They definitely didn't age well. This game is honestly not that good, but it's worth playing through it at least once, at least on the easier difficulty. And if you don't have a Wii U, if you do have a Wii U, Zero is worth it. It's incredible, and I recommend it heavily. But yeah, I think that they might actually port Zero to the Switch at some point, or with upgraded controls and fix things that people complained about and stuff like that. I think they will. I think it's only a matter of time, really. We're just waiting for that, or they'll make a brand new Star Fox, and if they do, then I will be extremely excited for that. I would love it. Yeah, exactly. Star Fox Zero is great. I recommend it completely. But yeah, let's see how much they each sold. Let's see. Star Fox franchise sales by game. Okay, we're going here. Oh, okay. So they're on average consistently. What is this asterisk? What are the asterisks here for? Okay, so yeah, okay, that makes sense. It was only 44. Okay, so almost 3 million for the SNES one. I'm gonna zoom in so it's not like. Okay, so about 3 million for this, for the first one. 64 had 4 million on the base one. Star Fox Adventures is 1.8 million. Assault only 8.9. Star Fox Assault is include VG charts numbers. All right, so it's using strange numbers essentially. Command less than 500,000. Doesn't surprise me. It was a weird departure. 3DS obviously unfortunately because it came out at the beginning of 3DS's life cycle, it sold poorly because everything did at the early 3DS life cycle. Just because the 3DS didn't sell well initially. So if it came out later in the 3DS life cycle, it would have sold so much better. I guarantee it. And Wii U, it didn't sell well, but also we just expect that. And yeah, so and obviously we can't tell SNES, but 11 million overall, that's not really that bad for, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total games. 7 of them were actually retail. It's not as good as it could be, but it's more than 1 million on average. So I think that there's a guarantee that Star Fox will come back, and they really need to reboot it. Give it the Metroid Dread treatment, I think Zero was supposed to be like that Metroid Dread treatment where they completely like bring it back to its roots and completely overhaul how it looks and make it feel good to play and everything. But yeah, I think that it just had its sad... I don't want to download. Hold on. I want to copy image. All right. I'm going to be posting this into the into my thing as well. Okay, right, and I posted both of them into the Discord. All right, let me just where is it? There. Okay. Just need to make sure everything's working. Okay. Yeah, I would recommend it. Really, honestly, if you like Star Fox, play all the games. They're not really hard to get. Star Fox Command you probably get for like $10 on eBay or something like that. Guard is like $1 at if you have a Wii U, it's $1 at GameStop if you find it. They're just laying everywhere because people return both of them without the cardboard box. So you'd find Zero for probably like $20. You could probably find it. I think I got Adventure for $20 before the like it's like 5 years ago or 4 or 5 years ago now. It probably skyrocketed in price now, but yeah. Assault I got for like $20 on eBay a couple years ago or somewhere. Where did I get it actually? I can't quite remember. I think I might have gotten it at a retro game store when I was out of town. So yeah, that's good. This I think is like $30 on the SNES. But you have NSO, just play it through that. You don't need to worry about paying for it. I promise it's not worth it. It's worth paying for the SNES upscale prices right now. This obviously it's on either on the SNES Mini or SNES Online. So yeah, like I think that these are all. Oh, and this you could probably get for like $20, $20 to $30. I think $20 brand new with the Nintendo Selects variant. But yeah, all of it is. Oops, fuck. All of it is very good games, and I recommend people who enjoy Star Fox to play all of them. But that's just my opinion. At least that way you get an understanding of all the games in the franchise. So keep that like that. So yeah, here's the tier list. This is the objective tier list. I've already posted it to my my stream server. And again, if you want to be a part of the stream server, here's the link. And if you want to follow my Twitter or follow me on Twitch here, that way you can get notified for whenever I go live. And also, again, join the Discord so you can keep in touch with myself and other streamers that I'm associated with that are a bunch of friends of mine that also are playing a bunch of games. So, again, I am probably going to end the stream here. It was only meant for a short stream because I wanted to finish Assault and I wanted to do this tier list. But I hope everybody has a good night. I'm going to be going to find a glass of water because I've been talking constantly. And I'm going to send a raid out to my boy, Zachris. Maybe? Let me see. No, he's not playing right now. Who should I... Trying to think, is there somebody I should raid? Trying to see. Is there anybody that's currently streaming in my server? Stream promo. Let's see. Just me. Okay. Well, I'm gonna. What the fuck am I looking at? Oh, I just sent a picture of 2 dogs sitting in a. Let's see. Is that show there? Yeah, there's like a little picture of 2 dogs sitting in a same bed, and they're just like a little yin and yang symbol. It's actually really cute. But yeah, I'm gonna raid. Let me research a channel real quick. Let's find and see. Is there any Star Fox channels right now? Let me see. Star Fox. No. What do we got going on for Star Fox? Trying to see it, but no, there's ads in my way. I'm just trying to find someone nice to raid, give them some love, stuff like that. Let's add 1 of 2. I'm gonna put this here. All right, let's see. Let's see this real quick. Looks like they're trying to do speed runs. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna raid this person. Yeah, I'm gonna raid this person. Raid. Paste. All right, we're gonna raid Tech Gamer 36. So I hope that everybody who is watching enjoyed themselves. I hope I was entertaining enough for you, and I hope that you enjoyed my opinions on the entire franchise of video games. So yeah, without further ado, we're gonna raid. Okay, so a raid basically, I send all the viewers over to another channel, and then they get more viewer count, and it helps them out as well as then supports other members of the community. So it's basically just if you just sit around, sit here and wait, you'll be sent directly over to them, and here I'm gonna re-raid. Let me just go into my actual thing. Hold on, I need to fix the raid right here. Okay. So yeah, it's nothing bad. It's nothing major. Paste. Yes. So we're gonna raid Tech Gamer 36, who is currently playing Star Fox 64. So yeah, he is currently streaming. What is it? He is speed running, I think, Star Fox 64. So I hope everybody had a good time with the stream, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.
Now the expert.